Hello, Mr. Derry here. We're ready to get started with editing our windows. So thanks to Morgan, I just learned that the new style of Revit family windows are much easier to edit than in the past where you had to actually edit the family. So let's take a look at, I've got Melanie's house up here and she was working on and she found one way to edit these windows. She was looking for a window that looked something like this, but it's really easy to fix those now. So I'm going to show you how to go about doing that. First off, we need to load some of the Marvin or Anderson windows into Revit, and we'll quickly review how to do that. So we're going to go to Window under Architecture here, and we're going to go to Load Family, and we've loaded quite a few of them into the student shared drive. They are under LOLHS in Mr. Derry and into the Revit family. So we're going to add more things other than doors and windows in here, but if we go into the Marvin windows, we can see that there's quite a few window styles here. It looks like Melanie's kind of edited some and saved them in here. Let's look at okay, there's a little jump in the video here. I brought in a window that I edited. I'm going to just show you how to do that one more time. So if we go to Window and Load Family, we need to navigate our way all the way to the tech drive again. I'm sorry, not the tech drive, the student share, LOLHS. Sorry for this little delay here. Go to Mr. Derry and Revit families. I came in here and renamed one of the windows because when Melanie edited hers, it edited the whole family. It's pretty easy for us to go back to Marvin and load some more. So I made one that has my name on it. It says Derry Demo, and I'm going to pull this guy in and show you what this looks like. So we're currently looking at the front of Melanie's house, and I'd like you guys, I talked about this in class today, we want to compare the image that inspired us to begin with what we have. And if you look at this image, first off, you'll notice that the windows on the first floor are double hung. What that means is the top window sash and bottom window sash move. It's a style of window. I can tell that because of the shadow lines here. These upper windows are not double hung. They're likely to be either awning or casement windows. Now this is a CAD file, so it's tough to tell, but I'm assuming that those would be awning or casement. We can talk about that. But as I mentioned earlier, Morgan found a super simple way, thanks to the changes they've made in these families, to make these windows look more like whatever style we're looking for. And this style would be described as a 4/1, meaning there's a single pane of glass on the bottom and 4 panes of glass on the top. And they may not be truly divided, but we don't need to talk about that. You also might notice that the windows that Melanie temporarily put in her house were more square than the ones in this illustration. In other words, the relationship between the width of this window to the height of this window, this is a taller, thinner window than what exists here, closer to these proportions, I would say. So we want to replace these windows with something that looks more like it, but this is not this window is not a 4/1. So how would we change that? Well, the first thing I want to do is I want to change a window. I want to duplicate it and give it a new name so we don't ruin the old one. Now this window has some numbers, 30 by 29, and these are the rough, try that again. or 30 by 28, these are the rough numbers for the sash, meaning the upper and lower sashes are roughly 30 inches wide by 29 inches each. So 2 times 29, or 2 times 28 rather, gives us a window height of approximately 5 feet 4 inches, right? So in the ballpark with framing. And our width is roughly in here at 3. So those are the sashes, those are the numbers, and that's not including the jamb and so forth. We don't need to get caught up in that so much, so let's just come up with a new name, and we'll call it, I don't know, let's call it, maybe we're changing the size of this window too. So we'll call it 4/1 with, and let's call it 3 feet by, or we can do it, yeah, it doesn't matter, 3 feet by 5 feet. And I want to put some of these numbers in here because I want to show you that it's easy to make these changes. So I said it's a 4/1, 3 foot by 5 foot. So we're going to edit this window. I'm going to go down here and make it 3 feet by, instead of 5/4, it's going to be 5 even. So now it's a new height. Okay. The rough height opening would have to be modified, but I'm not concerned about that right now. All right. And there are changes we can make right here. Now, muttons are what we're referring to there, are the dividers for the glass. I believe if I deselect the interior and exterior bottom sash muttons, then we are going to see a window with just items on the top. Look at that. How easy is that? All right. Now we need to now change this to a 4/1. So I'm going to go back and edit that type again and say these are lights. Lights are referred to as the panes of glass. So currently we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 lights over 1 light. Because we eliminated the lights by deselecting these on the bottom. So on the top sash, instead of having 3 by 3, I want to go 2 by 2. So we're going to go 2 wide, and 2 high, which is already there. So I hit apply, and let's see what we get. Hey, look at that. We now have a window that looks very similar to the window that is in our design. And it was way easier than the way I did it 16 years ago when I did my house. Super happy that Morgan found this, because now we can really go in and do a nice job of making our house look more like the design. If I were going to go take a closer look at Melanie's design here, notice that the upper panes, I would say, let me see if I can zoom in on that a little bit. These window panes look closer to square than what I have. In other words, the width is almost equal to the height. So if I look at the numbers that I have, mine look a little bit skinnier this way than, or a little bit wider this way than they are this way. So I might need to narrow my window a little bit. I'm not going to worry about that right now. What I do want you to realize, though, is if you don't rename it and duplicate it, then you're going to end up ruining the original, and you're probably going to have more changes to make along the way. Now, these upper windows she currently has as double hung windows, and if I look at this guy, I think that these are a series of awning windows. So we would have to bring those in and edit those, and I can show you how to do that as well. All right, I don't want this video is already starting to get a little bit long, so let's just see how we would go about changing these. So what I'd like to do is just come in here and select all these, and I should be able to just hold the control button down, and I want to change those from what they are to the new style that I just added, which is this guy. So notice, boom, I just updated all my windows. Simple as that. All right, this one doesn't belong here. And I'm going to delete that guy. And now we're getting a little bit closer to having our house. Now we do need to add some trim to these windows because you'll see that the trim is a little narrow in comparison to what it looks like. It looks like I want to say that these windows are installed backwards. Let's take a look at that. I think they are. So how would you know if your window is installed in your house backwards? Well, we'd have to do a sectional view to do that. So I'm going to go to the first floor. I'm going to take one of Melanie's existing sectional views. That's kind of got a long view, right? Make that a little tighter. And let's take a look at this window that we just put in and see if it's in backwards. And it is in backwards. How do I know my window is in backwards? Because the sill should not have water flowing into the house. It should have it flowing out. And the outer sash, the upper sash should be the outer sash on double hung windows. So how do we go about fixing those? So we would go to the first floor. We would select your windows and just flip them out. And the nice thing about this, I'm not going to flip all of them out. I'm going to leave one flip the wrong way because I want to show you what that looks like in the elevation view now. So you'll notice that the windows that I just flipped around have a little bit more exterior trim than the one that I did not flip around. You can see the difference there. Now, personally, this trim does not look as nice as the trim illustrated in this picture. So that would be a lesson for another day. I'll show you how to edit the trim. Or you can add additional trim on there so you get that nice wide white trim on the front of your house. But again, thanks to Morgan, we've got a really quick, easy way to edit our windows. And I definitely recommend making copies of them so that we don't ruin the originals. For one, I'd like other people to be able to access the window and then edit it to their needs. Hopefully this helps. I gotta try to make a few more to make it easier for you guys.